like, hey, I'm going to open a door. Hey, I'm going to go through and just write out a contract or get a pre-approval, like the very basic items, things that lack a personal touch or
Mm-hmm.
understanding. The, the agents that work like that, they will be replaced by technology.
My name is Kevin McIntosh, and this is the Closing Table, where we talk to experts about their experience in real estate all across the country. Let's go. Welcome. This is the Closing Table. My name is Kevin McIntosh, your host, and joining us today on this episode, we have the pleasure of speaking with Mr. Alex Young. How you doing, Alex?
I'm doing fantastic, Kevin. How are you doing?
Man, just great myself. Can't complain. Here for another episode, so everything is good, man. So let's go ahead and talk about everything you got going on in the industry of real estate. But we're going to go back a little bit further than that,
Let's
Alex.
go.
First off, raised on the east side of Green Bay. You said from a young age you knew that you were going to help consult people.
Correct.
From a young age, that seems like a very, I don't know,
weird
sophisticated
thing. Most
career
people
for a
don't
young
wake up.
person. Where did you even get that idea from at a young age?
No, 100%. Most kids at that age aren't waking up saying, hey, you know what? I want to consult people.
Right.
For me personally, I ended up gravitating toward a lot of the positions where I was either leading, coaching, or helping people, whether it was sports, school projects, what have you. I had a knack for it. So I always had a feeling that not only was I going to be doing it, but I enjoyed doing it. So as time progressed, as I got older, as I participated in more things and experienced more things, it just led me to where I am now, which is essentially consulting people with the biggest part of their life, their house.
Nice. Yeah. All right. Well, hey, it led you straight to where you are right now. Not too many people have a aspiration at a young age and actually pretty much ends up in that position. So respect to that. Got to respect that. You also lived abroad outside the country for a few months. Can you talk about your experience there and, how that shaped your perspective?
Absolutely. So I'm blessed and fortunate to be up here in Northeast Wisconsin, Green Bay specifically.
Mm-hmm.
However, for better or worse, we are insulated from a lot of things elsewhere in the world. So not just south of us, East Coast, West Coast, but international as a whole. So when I had the opportunity my last semester at college, I was like, you know what? I want to study abroad. I want to get someplace else to where I don't know anything, I don't know anybody, and just really, again, kind of figure out who I am and what I'm doing. So I decided to go through and fill out an application on a week's notice of studying abroad. And it was between Denmark, France, and the Netherlands. And I've already been to Denmark once. I didn't want to be surrounded by French people for 6 months, especially being from Northeast Wisconsin. So I landed on the Netherlands, which was kind of the gateway to most of Europe. And it ended up being an incredible time. It really helped me step outside of my comfort zone. One, feel comfortable in being myself and being by myself. And two, really challenging me to be able to connect and meet with people that I had zero in common with. So it was an incredible experience. I would do it again in a heartbeat.
How would you describe the culture of the Netherlands compared to here in the States?
Oh, man. One, you're more likely to get hit by a bike than a car. So that's one thing that's different compared to Northeast Wisconsin. But two, it was a little bit different for me. So when I lived abroad, I lived in The Hague, which is where they have like the international criminal courts, all the embassies for the countries, quite a few things going on. But where I lived specifically, I was in the Turkish quarter. So I was surrounded by Turkish culture, inside Dutch culture, from Northeast Wisconsin. So everything was a culture shock to me. So I was very much in an insulated bubble. But what it really allowed me to do was appreciate, one, what I had, and two, really start to expose myself to things that are elsewhere in the world. Because again, I love where I am here in Northeast Wisconsin, but the world is a very big place, and Wisconsin's only one small corner of it.
Correct. Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Not too many people have experience living outside the country, man. And that can bring a whole different perspective to your life, man. So that's wonderful that you even got a chance to experience and share that. You already playing the part, Alex Young, with the bow tie, and you have what you call the Bow Tie Group, an independently owned and operated team within Keller Williams. Can you talk about first and foremost the name? Why did you choose the name the Bowtie Group?
That is great. The To be honest, it's because I didn't know what else to call it, and I did not. My background's in communication and PR, but
Mm-hmm.
one thing I realized, I do not want my name specifically tied to anything. One, because I didn't know in the future if I was going to be the only one doing stuff as it relates to real estate. And two, I wanted something that was able to live beyond me. So I was
Mm.
going through and I had to decide, like, okay, what's the name going to be? And actually, I had my wife mention, well, you always wear a bow tie. Like, why don't you do something like that? And when she says I always wear a bow tie, not all the time. It's not like Bill Nye the Science Guy. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
if I dress up, I'm wearing a bow tie. But
nice.
I tie them myself.
I
So
was
I
going
was
to ask, man, if they clip-ons,
not
you're
I
doing it
have plenty
yourself.
of them.
Look
I
at
have them
you.
here in the office. I have them at home. I've
Yeah,
0% of my life ever worn a clip on. Tie them on myself, all via YouTube video. So if you all want to
nice.
know how to do it, shoot me a message. I'll teach you how.
Check that
But I
out.
went through and I was like, you know what? I like bow ties. They're a little bit classier. They're a little bit more traditional, but at the
Mm,
same time, so many people think it's very complicated. I taught myself via 10 minutes in a YouTube video how to do
yeah,
this,
yeah,
and to be able to translate that, I was like, you know what? This thing's got some legs on it as it relates to marketing and public relations. I mean, you look at people think tying a bow tie is difficult. It really isn't. People
right,
think
right.
selling a home can be difficult, and it doesn't have to be. So it's like, great, let's
Mm,
transition and put the two together. And it just so happened to work. So it is a team of one. It's me, myself, and I. Even though it's the bow tie group, again,
okay.
forward thinking. Wasn't sure if it's always going to be just me or if there are going to be others. So I wanted that opportunity to plan for the future while still being able to deliver in the present.
Nice. Okay, so that just kind of led me to another question or two. You're doing you are the group essentially. How are you able to manage your workload with just yourself at this moment?
Carefully, very
Mm,
carefully. So one, my calendar is my lifeline. Two, I have an amazing
yeah,
support from at home with my wife and our two lovely dogs. But two, it's just how I've always been. I, for better and worse, have always been a high achiever to a fault. I don't. If I'm going to do something, I want to do it very, very well,
gotcha.
and that's not always healthy. But fortunately, in this business, if you are somebody that is self motivated and wanting to go out and create the business, serve the clients, deliver the experience, and then continue again and again, you're able to at least be here. I'm heading into almost my sixth year here this coming June. So for the fact that I'm
Congratulations.
still here, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
The fact
Yep.
that I'm still here, I'm internally grateful for. But for
Correct.
me, it's very carefully. My life is planned out. My life is pretty structured, but at the same time, just like any entrepreneur and small business owner, it's always go, go, go. What can you
Yep.
do to create business and a brand? Because realistically, nobody needs me as a real estate broker. No, like
Mm,
when all is said and done, nobody needs me. But I need to find some way to be able to deliver value and service to others between
yeah.
my knowledge, my education, my experience. So that's allowed me to still be here, but in order to do that, it's a lot of training. It's a lot of conversations with amazing people like yourself, and learning on how I can serve at a higher level so that other people don't have to stress. And some people are able to do that. I've been able to learn from some amazing people, both here in Northeast Wisconsin and outside Northeast Wisconsin. But at the same time, some people aren't. So it's a tiresome day in day out hustle, but it is something
Mm-hmm.
that I genuinely love what I do.
Yeah,
So
man.
again, if you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life, and
Facts.
I very much am grateful to be able to say that.
Beautiful, Alex. Beautiful, inspiring. Also, what
Oh,
I took from
stop
that
it!
is no. What I took from that time management and discipline.
Yep,
I could only imagine. Congratulations. So let's get into the culture
let's go.
of the bow tie group. I mean, even if it is you, you still have to,
Mhm,
create your system and do things like that, create a culture or brand. How
mhm.
would you describe your culture?
How would I describe my culture? So my culture and the way I run my business is how can I serve others at the highest level? I am
Mm,
always of the mindset, and I can't remember if it's John Maxwell or Jim Rohn or whoever it was, but or Napoleon Hill. If you help enough other people attain what they want in life, you will ultimately be able to achieve and attain what you want in life. So for me,
Mm,
between my learning and my experience, if I can go through and achieve success through serving others, I know ultimately
uh-huh.
that'll come full circle and allow me to again be here as long as I've been. So that's honestly the whole culture is what can I do to serve others and what can I do to add value in any way, shape, or fashion. And the nice thing is, it's not just for clients. It is for people that maybe are for sale by owners. It might be other agents that
Right.
are in my office that I'm competing with from other brokerages. It might be local, it might be nationwide, it might be international. The sandbox is big enough for everybody to play in. You just
Talk
have to
about
have the
it.
right people playing in it.
Yeah, man.
So, service value, whether you're working with me, alongside me, it's not working against me to help other people. So,
I love that, man. That's a real grounded view of life, man. You
mhm.
know, putting others before yourself and just knowing that the universe will just pay you back just for doing that type of good. Oh
It
my good.
makes life easy and it allows you to be very consistent because you're not
Talk
having to
about it.
worry about a whole lot. It's just what can I do and with our conversation, what can I do to make your life 1% better in our conversation? And if I was able to do that, it's going to progressively compound into a beautiful thing.
Correct, correct, correct. Agreed, agreed. You were also voted best of the base, best real estate agent, not one, but 2 years consistently, 2020 and
Correct.
2021. And you also agent advice's list of promising real estate professionals under 40. Are there any benefits to being recognized as the best of the base, best real estate agent?
It sounds cool.
It
It sounds
does. It
cool when
really
other people
does.
say it. Humbly speaking, there's nothing directly. So the thing that I like about it is a Reader's Choice Award. So it's not something that you can
Mm,
pay to play. It's not something because they're in this industry, and again, to a fault, you can buy recognition, and in most industries, you're able to do that when it comes from
that's
things
true.
that are Readers' Choice Awards, which are your communities that you're serving, when it comes to other awards where are it's peer recognition, those are the
Hmm.
awards that are for me something that I enjoy hanging my hat on. So when I learned I was even nominated, I was already on cloud nine because I'm like, hold on, there are people that are in our area that are, in my eyes, way more successful, way better at serving our community. And the fact that my name's even a part of the conversation, like
Right.
I was happy right then and there.
Yeah.
Um, but then to know that I was able to win it and to be a finalist, and they actually just had the nominations open again a few days ago for this past month. So the fact that I have people that are like, "Hey, I'm voting for you. I'm doing it for you," it's nice to know that I'm not my success in my business and in serving others is not because of me, but because of the people that are behind me that are
Mm.
rooting for me and pushing for me to do that. So to get that kind of recognition feels really, really good. Definitely still have imposter syndrome. Definitely still go, hey, I don't know if I deserve this, but if you say I deserve it, I'm not. I'm just gonna say thank you
Right.
and treat and go from there.
Oh, man, look at you being humble, Alex. That's what's up, man. Yeah. So,
Makes life easy. We are in a
yeah,
business
yep.
where you can have the most successful business, but you could be gone in 6 months
True.
if you do not take care of the people
Yep.
that you are with and that are around you. So when I bludgeon people with kindness and gratitude, it is because I'm genuinely humble and grateful for the love, the support, everything. To be able to have a conversation like this with you, I mean, come on, this is something special. So
I'm not Oprah or nothing, but I appreciate that. Thank you.
I
We
will look under my
climbing.
seat, and if I don't have a car key, I'm going to be livid.
Nice, nice. What about the other part though? So, what does it mean to you to be considered a promising real estate professional?
It means that I'm just getting started.
Mm,
It means that again, the people that are considered the greatest, and by no means am I in that conversation, but to know that in order to climb that mountain, I have to start with the first few steps to be able to have
right.
that kind of community recognition and to see a promising professional under 40. That means one, I've got a lot of years ahead of me, which is great, and two, it means I'm what I'm doing is the right way to do it. I'm not
Mm,
buying success. I'm not coercing success. I'm genuinely organically creating a foundation that I can continue to build off of so I can be here for the long term.
good, good, good. Continue to serve the people, man, and
Mhm.
see yourself as having a lot of room for growth.
Absolutely.
Beautiful, beautiful. 95% or over 95% of your clients come from referrals or client relationships.
Yep.
Let's talk about the beginning of that. Where does your client relationship start?
My client relationship starts the moment we just come into contact. I am
Mhm.
very, very fortunate that I learned my skill of communicating from one of the best communicators ever, my grandpa.
There you go.
He is the kind of person, and quick story time, he went through years and years and years ago. We're talking 1970s, before I was born, went through, took my mom and family to Disneyland, sat on one of those trams that was going through, and was sitting across from somebody that was obviously a tourist from out of the country, was not speaking English at all, and he was very much a, I'm gonna go right up to you and I'm just gonna start talking to you and I'm just gonna
Mm,
start trying to connect and to learn. So from watching him and from learning from him, I realized that my client relationships, my just relationships, period, it all just starts with, hey, you know what? We haven't introduced ourselves to each other yet. Let's get that started and then build from there. One, because I think people are fascinating. I want to know about other people. But two,
mhm.
it's again, what can I do to serve and add value to you? I don't care if you're buying or selling real estate. I just genuinely want to help you get to where you want to get in life because again, ultimately, I know it's going to end up coming back around. So I guess that's the big thing is it just starts with a, hello, my name is Alex Young of the Bowtie Group. It's
Right.
nice to meet you.
There it is. Opens the door to many
Mhm.
opportunities.
Absolutely.
So although that's 95 or over 95% of your clients, what about that small portion, Alex? Where does that small
Yep.
portion of your clients come from?
We bump into each other like a Hallmark movie in a cafe. No. Honestly, it's a combination of social media and just online presence is the other thing. Again,
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
love being up here in Northeast Wisconsin, but we are relatively insulated from a lot of the major trends that take place East Coast, West Coast, and down South. So being
Mm,
able to have those connections and learn from the people that are doing it at a very high level in those areas and being able to take it back and disseminate it back to help raise the bar and the standard here in Northeast Wisconsin has allowed me to connect with people that simply found me because, hey, I saw a post that you had made or a video you had made and I feel as though I could connect with you. Can we have a conversation? Because again, I don't expect anybody to work with me, but I'm more than happy to always at least have a conversation with
there you
somebody.
go.
And then from there, it's, hey, let's see if this is a fit for those other 5%. But that's true of the entire 100% of people I serve.
Nice. 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 Since you already got into social media, let's talk about technology then. How do you incorporate technology in your business?
Absolutely. So one, video. I love video. It's
Mhm.
something that again, it's a muscle I got to keep flexing. It is something I got to keep working on it to do it at a high level. Again, like the people that I'm learning from, but just
Mhm.
being able to be comfortable and confident in being able to be on video and have that connection with people, so working there, so that's one aspect. Social media and just trying to stay relevant. One tidbit that has really stuck with me the last few months has been going onto social media with the purpose of creation versus consumption.
Ooh.
What can I do to get on there to create something for other people versus getting on there to mindlessly
Yes.
scroll through?
Yeah, man.
That has always been a driving factor, and it has also helped limit my ability of getting on social media because
Yeah, man.
I'll grab my phone and I'll be like, no, I got nothing to add. I'm
Same,
just gonna
bro.
set it down
Same, bro.
and do something else. But then I'm excited with some of the other aspects. I love technology as a whole. Before real estate, I worked in telecommunications, so I got to play with phones and tablets and computers all day.
Yeah.
And that always just it's an itch that I never was able to entirely scratch. So I love learning about that and being able to implement it. So you have new things right now like the chat GPT and everything else
Mhm.
like that. And
Yeah.
it can be terrifying or it can be fascinating. It just depends on how you want to leverage it.
Facts.
So I try to take what is out there and at least be on the forefront. I might not be the first one to do something, but again, I'm more than happy to learn a little bit and then find some way to execute on it. So if
Yeah.
there's a technology I can try, chances are I probably will.
Yeah, that's the thing. You spoke to something, man. That's the thing with technology, specifically social media, man. You can go down a rabbit hole with some of
Real
and the
fast.
platforms are designed for that. You know what I'm saying? You can't blame them, but you can go down a rabbit hole sometimes. You can go on social media with the intention to do one thing, maybe post something, but then next thing you know, you just scrolling, and that algorithm is just feeding you and
Yep.
feeding you. and Yo,
35
so
minutes later, you're like, where did my life just
man, I was
go?
supposed to go pick up my daughter from soccer practice. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So,
Yep.
but I'm the same way, bro. I go with the mindset of if I'm gonna get on social media, let me contribute content
Mhm.
rather than consume it, man. So when
Correct.
you said that, I was like, we right here with it. This is what I really want to ask. I want to know your perspective on this. You go to the grocery store, you can go to the self-checkout lane. You don't
Mhm.
have to deal with a human.
Mhm.
You can go on Vroom, Carvana, and you can order a car without talking to a person.
Mhm.
Do you think technology can advance to the point to where you don't need a real estate agent anymore?
I think one, that's a great question. Two,
Hmm.
I think the people that are going to be here in the future are going to be the agents that are advanced with technology and not and the people that are doing simple tasks like, hey, I'm going to open a door. Hey, I'm going to go through and just write out a contract or get a pre-approval, like the very basic items, things that lack a personal touch or
Hmm.
understanding. The agents that work like that, they will be replaced by technology.
Mm,
100%. The people that can go through and understand how to not just add value. Real estate is a relationship business. So
correct.
until a person is not the one that's living inside the home or selling the home, that until that happens, which it's not going to, um, until Chat GPT takes over the world, it's a joke. It's beside the point. But until a person is not the one that's buying the home or selling the home, there's always going to be a need for somebody to help facilitate that in some capacity. It's just the people that are going to be doing it are going to be doing it at a very, very high level and are going to be
Mm,
supported with the technologies as opposed to replaced by them. So I joke about ChatGPT earlier, and people are concerned with, well, how are we going to know what's real or being written anymore by a person or not? And it's like, well, that's already taking place right now. When we talk
correct.
about going on phones and scroll on social media, a lot of what people are doing on there is because the algorithms and the technology and the AI are already
Chat bots,
creating those
yeah.
opportunities for you. The only difference
Hmm.
is it's so seamless that you never notice it. And the agents that are going to be able to be here in the future are going to be the ones that are going to be able to serve you at a high level and deliver that personal experience and be able to manage the emotion that comes along with real estate, but they're just going to happen to be enhanced by technology in a way that allows them to serve you at a high level. The important part is it's going to be a seamless experience. I
Yeah,
think that's
yeah,
where it's
yeah.
going to be. And the people that can't do that are the people that are unable to manage emotions and people and just doing basic opening doors, things like that, rudimentary tasks. Those are going to be the ones that you'll probably see fall to the wayside.
What a great response, first and foremost, man. That was well said. I like your perspective on both, on seeing it possibly actually replacing some, but then seeing there's still going to be people around because
Hmm.
this is a people's person type of industry. But it was something else in regards to that I want to piggyback off of. I might have lost it anyway.
I
But the
have that
point
effect
is,
on a lot of people.
yeah, yeah, no, it's all good. I still like everything that you touched on in regards to that because, like I said, this is where I was going with it. Do you feel that the real estate industry deserves some type of purge? And I'm saying that because I've spoken to other agents who one of them specifically said he thinks that the standards, including the price that it takes that you have to pay as a real estate agent to remain active, he thinks everything should be raised. The standards, the practices, the policy, the price, so that it also filters out more real estate agents who aren't necessarily helping the system. That way, some of the inventory in some of these markets can match up with the number of agents.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that? Do you not agree with that? What's your thoughts towards that?
So two parts to that. One, the failure rate for any agent that gets into real estate is typically 87% within the first 5 years. So when
Mm,
you go through, and this is a national statistic. So if you go through and you
right.
have 10 agents or 5 agents that are entering the business, 4 of them are naturally going to weed themselves out within the first 5 years to begin with. However, is it a bad thing to raise the bar and the standard for people wanting to enter in the first place? No, I don't think so. People,
Mhm.
again, we were raised on the shows of, oh, let me go look at 3 houses. You just had to open a door, make a couple phone calls, and boom, you just bought a $600,000 house.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
that's like, I understand that people see that and they go, "Oh, well, that's super easy. I can do that." And it's
Mhm.
it's not a matter of can you do that. I can also kick a soccer ball. I can throw a football. I can shoot a basketball. But am I getting paid millions and millions and millions of dollars and doing it at such an extremely high level, such as Giannis Antetokounmpo, Aaron Rodgers, anything like that? Absolutely not. Like, just because you can do something does not mean you're able to do it at a high enough level to where people are
Facts.
willing to compensate for it. And they tend to weed themselves out. So, do I think there should be a purging? Um, it naturally happens. Do I think it'd be something that would be nice to see? Yes, I think we are shifting right
Mm.
now from an environment and a market that is less about speed and is more about skill. The people that are
Right,
in the
okay.
business that are going to survive where the market is right now, where the market is going, are going to be the ones that have the skills to be able to get there. Not just the one of who can get to the house first, who can write the offer first. Speed is not necessarily a skill. Managing emotions, managing negotiation, being able to connect with people, being able to create content for clients and for neighborhoods and communities. That those are skills that will allow
Mm.
people to last through any market. The people that got into it because they saw the market was hot, the money was good, and it was
Yeah,
easy,
yeah.
they're not going to be here. So the people that are there, I'm a okay with that being purged from the greater real estate market. However, most of that tends to happen naturally.
Naturally, yeah. That's a very good point. Because I recently read a statistic that talked about most real estate agents don't last past that threshold of 5 years, exactly like you stated. And I'm like, I know a few people that actually a couple years ago took their class to get their
Yeah.
license, and nowadays you're talking to them, yeah, I'm working at the factory or something
Yep.
like that. So, I
It's
mean, it is what
what
it
they don't
is.
tell you when you get your license. That allows you to legally buy, sell, or invest in real estate from and represent others. What they don't tell you and what they don't typically teach you is, well, okay, you are now a small business. Let's
Hmm.
look outside of real estate and let's just look at entrepreneurship as a whole. How many
True.
small businesses survive? Very few.
Ooh, yeah.
And how many make it incredibly big to where they're household names? Astronomically low numbers.
Even
And it's the
smaller.
same thing as it relates to real estate. People getting
Mhm.
into it, anybody can be an entrepreneur and call themselves that. But the ones that are able to do it for not only at a high level, but for an incredibly long period of time, those are few and far between.
Facts. Man, you speaking on it, man. Let's hit you with this curveball, Alex. Mm. You say you are allergic to average. I
Yep.
say, what? I looked around the room. I said, what kind of quote is this? I like that quote, Alex. You got to explain it. How do you keep yourself away from being allergic to all of this average? How you keep yourself away from being average?
It's one that's how I was just raised. It's if you're gonna do something, do it at a high enough level. But
Mm-hmm.
two, the way I'm able to consistently deliver on that is I treat it as you need to fuel the machine. So if you're putting
Right.
garbage into your life, you're going to get garbage out of your life. If you're putting in things that are of high value and high worth, you're going to get high value and high worth out of it. So conversations like this, books, podcasts,
Mm-hmm.
trainings, masterminds, things that allow me in the and also the people you surround yourself with. If you go
Mhm.
through and you put that into your life, that's what you are going to be able to go through and create out of it. So if you're allergic to average, the easiest thing is you don't have to change a bunch of things. You just have to look at what's coming in first and then go through and be able to adjust what's going out. So if you mindlessly scroll social media, you're watching the news, you aren't learning, you aren't growing, well then yeah, you can't expect you if I believe the quote is, if you want to get someplace you've never been, you've got to do something you've never done.
Never
And
done.
it's very, very simple of, you know what, my wife's a librarian. I am terrible at reading, but I know that I need to learn and grow, one, so that I can keep up with her, but two, just so I can become a better person. Somebody,
Correct.
you need to always be learning because if you're not growing, you're dying. So to be allergic to
Yes.
average, you just gotta change. It doesn't have to be monumental changes, just compound effect. 1% change over time compounds to something incredible. So if you want to get away from average, do something different, 1% better than you did it before, and then just keep adding on and adding
Keep
on.
going. My man's Alex, man. I love doing this show, man. It's divine how every time I talk to someone, they speak directly to me in my experience. I was literally in the car today on my way to work, and my mantra was, I'm going to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Hmm.
That's literally my thing going forward, like trying to do more things I know is going to advance me, but I may not necessarily do on the regular or be comfortable with. So
Yep.
great, great words from a great man,
Oh,
Alex Young. Thank you for
stop it.
joining us here on the closing table.
It's my
Before we
pleasure.
get out of here, if you have any last words and or want to tell the people how they can reach out to you, please do so now.
Oh, absolutely. Anywhere online on any of the socials, Alex Young Realtor or the Bowtie Group, you'll find me. Thebowtiegroup.com. But in terms of what I can leave other people, always seek to add value, always seek to serve, and remember, little by little, a little becomes a lot.
Mm. Short and sweet, my man. I love it, man. Perfect timing. Hey, man, thank you again, Alex, for
My
coming by
pleasure.
to our viewers on YouTube right now. This is your time. You got this far in the video, hit the like button, please. Hit the share button. And also subscribe to our channel. And if you're listening on Apple, Spotify, any other podcast platforms, I need you to do the same thing. Give us a like, give us a 5-star rating, and also subscribe for our latest content. Alex, we got to leave our audience with a question like we do every episode. This is what I want to know. What are some of the key features that your dream home has, whether you live in it now or that's what you're aspiring for? Leave your comments below. Other than that, we'll see you next time.